Hello. Hi. Wow, this room is echoey. Hi guys, so I did not move. We just have an extra room in my house right now that's white, and I could not pass up the opportunity to film in this wonderful natural lighting. So here we are. Hello. Hi. I bet you thought this video was never gonna come. I kind of thought that, and then I decided to just suck it up and film it because I don't know, maybe you guys are interested, I'm not really sure. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite books of 2018. I will warn you ahead of time, it's not going to be very exciting, it's a little bit predictable, but whatever, I'm past caring at this point. In 2018, I only read about 30 books, so the list of books to choose from is very, very small, especially because I did a lot of rereads this year, so it's not very exciting, but I'm going to talk about books. So I have two little sections. First, I'm going to talk about honorable mentions. There's a lot of books that I read this year that were like super good and really enjoyable, but weren't necessarily like life-changing favorites. But I do want to kind of talk about those because I only have 5 favorite books that I'm going to talk about. So it shouldn't take too long. Settle in, get excited. You probably already know my favorite book of the year, but what you gonna do, you know? I'm just predictable. Let's talk about my honorable mentions. First things first, I did a reread of Monstrous at the beginning of the year, and I ended up reading for the first time the sequel, aka Volume 2. And Monstrous is a graphic novel series, if you didn't know. It's super gorgeous. I would relate the art to like Princess Mononoke, if you've seen that movie. It's absolutely stunning. The characters are really, really cool and diverse. It's set in this fantasy world where cats can talk and they're like kind of magical. And it's just like, it's kind of dark and graphic, so like if you're not of age, probably don't check it out. But I really enjoyed the second volume of it. It really started opening up some things for this next volume, which I'm going to read soon and I'm so hyped about. So if you haven't read Monstrous yet, you should definitely check that out. Another book that I read this year is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is a spin-off book of Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, aka Love, Simon. It follows Leah's character, and it's kind of her and her bisexuality and finding a girlfriend and falling in love for the first time, and just like a lot of really cool stuff. I really enjoyed it. I think I liked it a little bit more than Simon Versus personally. It's still not my favorite Becky book because I love Upside so much, but I did really enjoy this audiobook when I read it, and it was just like super entertaining and fun. Another book that I loved was Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I read the audiobook for this one as well, and Neil Gaiman narrates, which was really cool. I did not anticipate picking it up, but I love Thor. I don't know if you know that. Thor is like my dude, and I've been really getting into Norse mythology over the last year or two. And so I decided to pick it up because I'd heard good things and I hadn't read a Neil Gaiman book before, and it was just really, really entertaining and awesome, and I feel like I learned a lot, and now I know a little bit more about the Norse gods, and I would highly recommend it. It was just very entertaining. A book that I really, really loved that almost made it into my favorites list is Sounds Like Me by Sarah Bareilles. It's kind of her like memoir book with essays, and it's nonfiction. It's really good. She narrates the audiobook, which I listened to, and I don't know why it took me so long to listen to. It was just really good, really entertaining. As somebody who loves Sarah and her work and her music, it was just really cool to get to see inside her world and figure out like where she writes things from and how she grew up and what she did in college, and it was just like really, really sweet, and I would die for Sarah Bareilles, honestly. Another exciting book this year is Siren by Sophia Elaine Hansen. This is the last book in the Vinyl trilogy, which is a dystopian trilogy. It's all about music, and it's really, really cool. Very diverse, very funny, great characters, super emotional, very good. I ended up reading the finale and the second book, Radio, this year, and both of them are just like really, really good. So if you're looking for a new dystopian, or you're looking for some fun new characters to get to know, definitely check out Vinyl by Sophia Elaine Hansen. So I feel like these two books go together as an honorable mention because they're kind of the same thing. They're not, but they feel the same in some ways. I ended up finally reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It took me way too long to get into it, but I understand, I feel it, I know the cult classic thing, I get it. So I read that, and then a little bit after I read Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. Personally, I like Neverworld Wake better than The Secret History, but they have a lot of similar themes and messages and just like plot things, which is really interesting, but I really, really love them. I love like those mystery thriller type of books with plot twists and good characters and stuff like that. And Neverworld Wake even gonna really tell you the plot of those 2 books because you should definitely go in blind like I did. It was A+. The last book I'm going to talk about that's an honorable mention is In an Absent Dream by Shauna McGuire. This book, I think it either just came out or it's coming out soon in 2019. I got to read an arc of it, which was really fantastic, but it's the 4th book in the Wayward Children series, aka Every Heart a Doorway. It's this super short group of novellas that is all about like fantasy worlds where children kind of get lost in doorways and they go to magical places. This one is about a goblin market, so it's kind of all about rules and following them and staying true to yourself and stuff like that. And it was really fantastic. I think it's definitely one of my favorites in the series. And yeah, I'm super excited to see where that series goes because it's definitely one of my favorites and it's so good. Now we're on to my top 5 favorite books of the year. Number 5, I don't have a physical copy of because I'm lending my ARC out at the moment, but it is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. This book is really, really great. Part of the reason I read it is because I'm friends with Christine, so I didn't make a review about it because I don't want to be biased, but I really enjoyed it. It was such a relatable book. It's super funny, kind of embarrassing. Definitely reads like it's Christine in book form, which is not bad. But I really liked it because I related to the character so heavily, and I just thought it was really, really cute. It was a fun little contemporary to read, and also there are just a lot of Taylor Swift references, so I love that. Number 4 on our list is The Witch Doesn't Burn in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This is the sequel to Princess Saves Herself in This One. It's a poetry collection, as you can tell, and it is wonderful. Really fantastic, actually. I've always been a huge fan of Amanda's. I became friends with her a couple years back, and she is such a great person. I love her so much, but she's also just like a really talented writer, and I love this book. I read it all in like one sitting, basically the day it came out, and I still remember that day vividly. That's how good this book was. And yeah, it was just definitely a really memorable read for me, and I am so excited to get to read the last book in this series. Partially because I have a poem in it, but you know, it's still just awesome. Book number 3 on our list is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. Oh my gosh. This is the only contemporary book on my favorites list. It is the only contemporary book I really cared about reading this year, and it did not disappoint. Morgan Matson never disappoints me. She always gives me what I want. So this book follows a family, a very big family, and they are going through a wedding. One of the children is getting married. She's like, you know, in her late 20s. But our story follows the main character, who is the youngest child in this family, and she is having a really hard time dealing with change. And so it's such an awesome book because it does talk about growing up and change and becoming your own person and seeing some of your like most loved people fall off their pedestals, which I think is a really important thing to talk about. I also love it because it's all about family and there is a beagle in it, and I love beagles. So here we are, once again, talking about my top 2 books of the year, and unsurprisingly, both of them are by one woman. The one woman. This next book, the second book, would have been my favorite book of the year. I literally read it twice this year. I'm obsessed with it. It's like my favorite thing. I love it so much. However, it cannot overshadow the first book, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I love it, and it is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I know a lot of people put this off. A lot of people did not read it before the final book. A lot of people will never read it because of reasons. But whenever people tell me that, I get really sad and upset because this book really just like changed a lot for me. It has been my driving force for this next like year of my life, and me wanting to change my life and become a better person. Like, it's all because of this book, and this book has changed me emotionally in a way that I don't think any book will be able to do in the near future. It's so beautiful, so stunning. The message, the themes, the characters, the world building, the diversity, like it's just, it's really great, and it makes me emotional, and honestly, one of these days, I really want to get a tattoo about this book. Just being honest. Did I say I read it twice this year? And unsurprisingly, book number 1, my favorite book of 2018, is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Literally every year since like 2014, my favorite book of the year has been a Sarah J. Maas book. And I don't know what that says about me, but that's where we're at the moment. So I don't really care at this point. You can judge me however you want, but Kingdom of Ash was a fucking fantastic book and no one can tell me otherwise. If you have not watched my multiple videos about this book, my reading blog that's an hour long, my book review that's an hour long, all of my reading vlogs leading up to this book that are like 30 minutes long, this book was the only book that I really wanted to read in 2018, and it was, I don't even have the words to tell you how much I adored this book. It is beautiful, it's funny, the characters are amazing, the emotional growth and character development really just like killed it. It was not a letdown at all. The plot was stunning. It had such good pacing, even though it's like a 900 and whatever page book. The world is great. The plot twists were incredible. Like, I don't have enough words to tell you how much I just like adore this book, but it is my favorite book of all time. It is better than Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in my opinion. It has cemented the Throne of Glass series as probably my favorite series of all time at this point in my life. And yeah, that's it. Still Sarah J. Maas trash. Who's surprised? Like I said, super predictable list, really not that exciting, but I know some of you were interested in hearing about it, and I don't know, I felt like giving you the bookish content that I haven't been making lately. So those are my favorite books of 2018. I can't believe we're into 2019 already. Hopefully next year's video of my favorite books is gonna be like really good because I am planning on reading 100 books in 2019. Right now I have read 4. I just started my 5th one and I am already just like excited. It's gonna be a really good year, I can tell. I'm so excited. If you want to talk about Queen of Air and Darkness in the comments, please don't. I haven't read it yet. I know. I'm the worst. I don't care. So yeah, I would love it if you would leave a comment down below with your favorite books of 2018. If you have books that came out in 2018 that you really think I should read in 2019, please let me know because I am looking for all the recs. I just need to get to 100 books. Also, if you have any ideas for like bookish videos, bookish content, anything like that, if you have any questions, anything, if you want to talk, like comment section, it's open. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I have a book coming out. Oh my goodness, I can tell you, I have a book coming out. You should check that out. You can add it on Goodreads. It's called Water Runs Red. It's a fantasy poetry collection. It's gonna be freaking badass and amazing, and I'm confident about that. And if you're feeling really generous, you are welcome to pre-order the ebook on Amazon. The paperback won't be released until May 5th, so if you'd rather wait, I understand as well. Really appreciate you guys, you're amazing, and I hope you have the best day. Bye!